Thank you for joining me today for a kind of brief, but potentially it might be a little bit longer than I expected, walkthrough of the latest edition of the CAIRS app. I'm sure a couple of you have maybe seen some of the previews before, and I'd love to show you where we're at. We're pretty much close to launch. So depending on when you watch this may be, a launch video or close to a launch walkthrough. But I'm going to do my best to take you through some of the features and functionality of the application. So let's get started. To get going, head over to CAIRS, C-A-I-R-S, CAIRS.app, and that's our website, and there's a bunch of information on there which tells you about the application and some screenshots and what it does and what it looks like. But most importantly, from here, you have some buttons to do a few things. Quickly, let me point out from right to left a little bit. On the right, you can actually book a meeting with us. So if you want to book a meeting with us, you can book a meeting. You can contact us, or you can log in or sign up, which just makes it a simple place to find anything you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sign up to kind of kick things off, and we're going to start this from scratch. So let's start with our sign up. So we're signing up as usual as an advisor. So we're going to be an advisor. We're going to have a bunch of clients that we're going to invite, and then we're going to carry on and use the app. So again, this is not a comprehensive guide. This is just a walkthrough. Really, what I want to do is take you through the basics in this. I want to say the least amount of workflow to get yourself up and running in maybe 15-20 minutes or maybe a bit longer. So I'm going to sign up. So let's do this. So here I go. So I put in my email address and the password I want to use, and my name, my phone number. You can change this in the app. The time zone I'm in Los Angeles. If you followed along, you'll know that. I'm an advisor, leave it where it is. That's the default. And then what kind of an advisor am I? I think there are a bunch of choices. I think for this particular one, let's choose career counselor. Important to note that is going to be our choice all the way through. Let's sign up. Let's read our terms and conditions, terms of service. Let's agree to that, confirm, and let's move through the setup process. So I've signed up. As you can see, really there's nothing else I can do here, but you can contact us for support if you need to. That's always available. Or you can just click on the first time setup, and let's run through this. All right, so as the workflow shows, first page of the first time setup for an advisor. We've done this before, and again, if this is your first time watching this, there are going to be some changes here. But basically what you're seeing here is a template for a career counselor, if I can point that out to you, because that's what I am. I'm a career counselor. And this is the questions or the questionnaire that I'm going to present to my clients when I onboard them, or at any time throughout their journey. I may need to, I may ask them these questions. Usually it'll be at intake or onboarding, and at various other stages. And we've populated this for you. So we populate this with what we think are, questions that are going to be useful as a career counselor. And obviously, if you choose one of the others, you'll get different questions. But you'll also notice straight away this little robot, little orange robot. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But we actually have AI helpers everywhere for you now. So, for example, if you have a question here like, what are your long-term goals, which has been pre-populated, but maybe we weren't really sure what we wanted to do here. We wanted to have a different question, and the question wanted to be around, what are your aspirations for the future? But we weren't really sure how to word this. We can just click on AI, and AI will, kind of try and form some sort of logical, question-y sentence for us out of that. So very cool. You can just hit some keywords. You'll actually see this all over the place. So we're just going to accept what this is. This is fine. We're happy with this. We're going to hit save, and we're going to move through. So the very first page you see is the intake form. And the intake form, you've just set the questions. Technically, your clients would now answer these questions. And we're not going to answer these questions because we're not a client, but we could be a client, or we're going to be a client for ourselves in a moment. But right now, we're just going to say thank you and save and move on. And boom, that's it. We're set up. But again, I want to show you sort of the basic workflow and the things that I would do. So this is not a comprehensive tour of the application. I'm going to point out a few things. The top left is an H. That's your help. Very simple. It's color-coded tips. What does this mean? Anything surrounded by blue is something you can probably select. Anything that's in red is information for you. Anything that's in yellow is not necessarily a warning, but something happened or something new. You'll see that. And orange will be our Gen AI to generate AI. And it may also include the ability to add keywords. And we'll see that all the way through. So just a bit of help for you if you get stuck or you're not sure. So you can see all over. You can see the blue bars. You can see places with blue. Those are basically buttons. You can click on them anywhere with blue, as you can see. So we're gonna just scroll over here, and we're gonna go on to settings, and we're just gonna set the platform up the way we want it. So yeah, I want my clients to be able to see my email address, and I want them to be able to see my phone number. Those are those little check boxes there. I want to register my clients automatically when they register with me from a licensing perspective. I don't want to show the onboarding intake questionnaire to my clients. I'm actually going to do that with them, just how I like to work. I want to use our calendar, the inbuilt CAIRS app calendar. Yes, absolutely. And I want to allow my clients to book meetings with me. I don't want my clients to be able to select what session they're on. I want to fix whatever session we're on. That's the session they're going to get. Again, we'll see all this stuff as we go through. I don't want my clients to see the session detail. That's just for my eyes only. I want to show my client the toolkit, which we'll go through at some stage. I don't want to be on the front search page for this particular person. That's the search page where people can find me and they can actually register with me as their advisor. I want to be hidden. I want to receive system emails, and I want to receive client-related emails. It's my time zone. You'll see here video conference link. Please set a video conference link. So that's there because until I've paid for a client, I can't use the inbuilt video conference. And in fact, there are a couple of features that you don't get by default until you're a paying customer. That's one of them, integrated video conference. You also don't get all the AI. You only get a subset of the AI. And we'll see that in a sec because I'm actually going to buy a license. How much do I charge per session? Just for my client's sake, I'm going to charge $100 per session. I'm not going to upload a consent form, but I could do that here. I'm going to set up my calendar because that's really important. So let's just go in there. Yeah, I don't work Saturdays and Sundays. I don't work until 9 a.m. and I only work to 6 p.m. Those are my times. So let me block everything else out. You'll also notice like a nice little out of office here if I want to use it. Very cool. It means your clients will get an out of office and they'll see that you're out of office. And this is my little details. When the clients book with me, what will they see? And let's save this. Okay. All right. This is my onboarding questionnaire. We had a look at this just now. So we're not going to do this again, but we've kind of seen this. So we're just going to assume that we've seen this. We're not going to worry too much about it. And we're not going to change anything there. We have a couple of things here. We can invite a client to sign up. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to invite my client, but we're not going to sign up as a client. So let's put their email address in. Yep, as you expect. And their name is, I don't have to fill that in. This will just help when they're filling out their form. It'll all be filled out for them. So they'll just have to put their password in and their location. I also have a personal invite link if I want to use it. So if I want to share this online somewhere, if I want other people to know about it, or I just want to randomly send this to somebody to invite them and I don't want to invite them to the app, this link will just be a generic link that I can send them and they can automatically sign up as my client. It'll link them to me using my, if you have a look here, my advisor ID. Okay, that's the key here. You can also book a meeting with us if you want to. If you want to book a support customer success style meeting, click on here and you can book that. Or any training or other meeting, click there and it'll take you to our calendar and allow you to book a meeting with us. So good, we've set up. That's it. We're ready to go. What does that mean? We're ready to go. Well, we can do two things here. First of all, we're a client of ourselves. Again, if you've watched this, you'll know that you as an advisor are always a client as well. And that just allows you to kind of get the feel for things and maybe even test things out on yourself if you want to. And of course, we can invite a client. You get one free license to invite a client, but like I said, you don't get certain integrated features. So because of that, I'm actually going to go into licensing and I'm going to purchase a license. All the payments are done through Stripe now. So how many licenses do I want? For how long? Do I have a discount code? Well, I just want one license for 1 month. So if I click on purchase, you'll see that it's $11. I'm going to put in my card. And yes, obviously this is a sandbox, so I'm not actually paying for it, but it will go through Stripe. I'll get a notification. You can see that I've paid. You can see how much I've paid. There's a little button here which says buy AI. Again, this is something I'll go through in a different session, but you do have tokens for AI, and depending on how often you use the AI for a particular client, you may run out of AI. To be fair, we give you a generous amount of AI tokens per client, so you probably won't run out. But if you do, they're actually very cheap to buy as well. So here we go. I've actually got 3 licenses now, which means that everything is now set up for me. So let's just go back to settings, and I actually want to turn a couple of things on. So you'll see I've now got a new option here. I use the CAIRS video conferencing, so I don't have to set a conferencing link anymore. When I click on that, basically I am now set with the CAIRS video conferencing app. Okay, which means that it'll use our integrated app when it does anything. Okay, so excellent. We're good to go. We have it running. We have everything set up the way we want. Now we got a choice. Do we want to, do some testing or playing around on ourselves, or do we want to invite a client and do it on them? Well, we're going to do it on ourselves because it's easier. So one of the cool things is you can always view yourself, but as a client, only for yourself. If I click on that, it takes you into your client view, which is kind of neat, right? And you can always swap back. So boom, you can go back to it as well. So this is your advisor view, i.e. the administrator, and this is what you would look like as a client. Okay, so that's great. So we've got that kind of running. We know that that's running. Everything's working great. But you'll notice that we don't have any plans or sessions. I know this because you can see they're blank. And if I click into them, there's nothing there. So really, for me anyway, step one is to create a plan for my client. But we're a client, so we're going to create a plan for ourselves. I'm going to do a 10-step or 10-session, step or sessions, up to you. And I'm going to just use AI to generate 10 sessions. Now, it's now going to generate 10 sessions based on the fact that I am a career counselor, but also based on any of the answers to any of the questions I gave. We gave no answers, so it's going to have to make this up. But let's just click it and go. Now, just be aware, every single time you do this, it's going to take this information, it's going to send it through to the AI models, and it's going to spend some time. So in this case, it was quite quick. It can take up to 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds. It'll never take longer than a minute. If it does take longer than a minute, refresh and try again. Also, if you don't get a result, try again. Like I said, we make sure that you've got lots and lots of AI tokens. You shouldn't have a problem with this. We give you ample tokens, so that if there are a few times where you have to do this once or twice, that's fine. But check it out. We've done this. Yay, we've got 10 sessions. I quite like those sessions. Now, we've got a couple of choices here. We can keep them as they are. Or if we want to, we can turn AI off here. And we can actually go in here and edit these sessions. We can add to them, remove them, do whatever we want. We could just use this as a template if we want to. Or in our case, we're just going to say we're happy with this. But if we wanted to edit this, we could click on save and save it as different sessions. Let's just assume we're happy here. Okay, the next thing to have a look at is we've now generated 10 sessions. And you'll see we've got a little tick there. Well, what do those sessions look like? Well, obviously they're blank. All they have is a title. So you'll see session 1 is self-reflection and identifying career goals. Session 2 is assessing skill strengths and interests, and so on and so on and so on. Well, when I work with my clients, I'm going to work with them on self-reflection and identifying career goals in session 1 because I've decided that's what I want to do. Well, I have this little Gen AI button here as well, another little helper for me. So this is the information for the session, and if you have a look, it's blank. Now, again, I can go in here and I can start creating a session, or I can just click this Gen AI. And it will take that session information and it will use AI to generate a session for me, which I can then use as a template, and I can also keep it as it is. Now, again, It's going to take up to 30 seconds. So we're going to let it do its thing, and I'm going to waffle away here, pretending it's not going to take 30 seconds, but it will take 30 seconds, give or take. That seems to be about the time that it takes to send this. And of course, your mileage will vary. Okay, great. It's done. I'll take a sip of my coffee while I'm doing this. Great. It's created a session for us. Now, again, everything it does here I consider to be either perfect, not perfect at all, or something you want to modify, because this is a template. But you can take this and use it as is. It's yours. I mean, this is what it's generated for you. My suggestion, obviously, is to go through this and, make edits, changes, and so on and so forth, and whatever you want. But you can see it's done really, really well. It's self-reflection, identifying career goals. Here's the session overview. This is what we're going to be doing. Here's the objectives. This is the duration, yada, 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 and so on and so on and so forth. So you'll see it's done pretty well. Now I can go in and make edits and save those if I want to. Now, this is not shared with your client. And the reason this is not shared with your client is because I chose not to, if you remember in settings. But you can share this with your client if you want to, so they can get the exact same view as you. Okay. So a couple of other things on this page. This is your main page. This is where you will work with your clients on the session that you're on. And why is it this page? It's very simple, because this page will have the detail on the session that you're working with them on. Then there will be a place for your client to take notes. Now, an advisor can take notes because they're an admin. So they can take client notes, but you typically wouldn't. You would typically just see your client's notes appear here. And the advisor can take notes. But check how cool this is. The advisor could take short notes. So, for example, in the session that we're doing here, the session is on self-reflection, identifying career goals. And maybe we've got a couple of things that we ended up doing here. So let's just do this. Let's just take this over here. And let's just, for argument's sake, say that this is what we did in the session. But let's actually make it, just like this. Let's just say, cool, this is what we did. But I want real notes for this. Just click on Gen AI, and it's going to take this. It's going to use this as keywords, and it's going to create a session note for you. So again, in this case, you're seeing sometimes it comes back with incorrect data, and it'll usually come back with incorrect data quite quickly. When it fails, it is very rare. But boom, look at that. It's taken that. Now that is now a full note. Now I have full notes. Now obviously, again, I can go in here, I can edit it, but what a great helper. I can go in and basically just add keywords as I'm talking to the client. And rather than typing notes, I can focus on the session with my client, because that's really what I'm here to do. I'm here to help them. And then I can take a few notes, a few keywords, a few items as we're talking. And at the end of the session, or whenever, I can just use the Gen AI to pass that out and make it into a full note. So I'm pretty happy with that. We have notes. So we have, without doing any work, we have generated 10 sessions. We've created our first session, full notes, full detail. We've created, we've had the session, assuming we've had the session with the client, and we've created full notes for the session. So that's great. What else could I do? Well, if I wanted to, before the session, I could even create slide outlines for the session. Again, really easy to do. Go into slides, click on Gen. Now, you'll notice on all these screens it says share with your client. Basically, do you want to share this content? That's going to come up here with your client. If you say yes, they get to see it. If you say no, it's private to you only. You'll see this in several places. The choice is yours. So you'll see we're generating self-reflection and identifying career goals, and we're going to try and generate slides for that. I always use the word try because it is AI. So, it can hallucinate, it can make things up. We all know this, but you'll see it'll do pretty well. So look, it's created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's created a lot. It's created 12 slides for us, and we'd obviously go through that. And again, I just want to point out that just like everything else, you could go in here, you can make edits, and you can save this yourself. You don't even have to use AI if you don't want to. But boom, we've got slides, and we've shared them with our client. I've done no work for that. It's quite fascinating and quite amazing, isn't it? So let's move on. You'll see that for this session. Oh, and let me just rewind for 2 seconds. The session that we're on is all controlled here, right in the center. So everything you're doing. So when I click it over to session 2, you'll see it's now in session 2, assessing skills, strengths, and interests. So when I click on sessions, it'll automatically be in session 2. And most notably, if your client will also be in the session that you've chosen. So you'll see they will automatically see they're in session 2. And when they go and check their session, they will be in that session. Okay. Just be aware, obviously, we haven't generated anything for that particular session, so it doesn't exist. Okay. And also be aware when you're viewing as your client, as you do have certain privileges your client doesn't have. So they won't see Gen AI, they won't see any of those things. That doesn't exist for them. Okay, cool. So let's stick to session 1 and let's go and create some session tips. What are tips? Tips are things, when a client leaves a session, sometimes during the week, maybe it's weekly sessions or the month or however long it is, maybe you want to give them some tips and tricks. You can do this anytime you want, but it'd be very cool to do this. So again, based on the session, self-reflection, identifying career goals, and based on the content for the session which we've generated, let's generate some tips that might be valuable for our client. So here we go. We're doing the 30-second check, and off it goes. It's checking it out. It's having a look. It's sending all that data off to AI as well, and it's going to come back with some tips. Let's have a look if we've got any tips. Hopefully we get some tips. If it's taking at least 30 seconds, we do. Yeah, great. So tips to use after the session, and boom, there's a whole bunch of information. And again, same thing applies. Everything's always consistent. You can go in here, you can edit this, you can regen them if you want to, and save your own, and you can choose to share or not share your tips with your clients. We're going to share them. Okay, so you'll see that for session 1, we've got slides, we've got tips, we've got a full plan, obviously, and we've got sessions. So let's just move on a little bit. We've also got questions that we can ask our client, Q&A. These are not based on sessions. These are just random things that we want to maybe ask them. These are things to keep the conversation going. Maybe it's a week or a month break between sessions, and you want to just ask the client. You want to keep some interactivity. So you're thinking, what kind of a question can I ask? Well, I don't really know. So I can start with the word what, and then click on our little AI helper, and boom, it'll go through and it'll kind of figure out a question for you. So the question is, what are your long-term career goals? And how do you see yourself aligning? Boom, it's come up with a question. Okay, we can just give it a blank and it'll use, again, I'm a career counselor. Let's see if I can find a question. It's so cool that you can just go through and you can use this to interact with your clients and create some interactivity and, really help them so that they can go through, sit down, think, answer, come back to the next session. It provides that, level of touch that, when you're not with them, so you're only with them for, let's say, 45 minutes or an hour, but then for the time that you're not with them, all these other tools are there to help them. So let's save those. Your client will get a notification for all of these, by the way. So they'll know that there's new slides, new tips, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, if we go and have a look at it as the client, you'll see they've got a new plan. You'll see they can't edit it. You'll see that they've got a new questionnaire. Check it out. And they can answer them. You will see that they've got, my apologies. You will see that they've got tips, that they've got questions. You will see that they've got tips, that they've got slides. Again, let's just have a look. Here's the slides. So there's the slides. We shared them with them, right? Okay. Now, again, just be aware they won't get these Gen AI and the save. You only get it because technically you are an advisor, even though you're viewing it as your client. So we've done everything here, or have we? No, we've actually got more. Let's click on more, which takes us to page 2. There's even more that we can do with our client. So we have a little general notes section. General notes is really simply exactly what it is. For this particular session that we're on, do we want to create some notes for the client? Maybe there was something important that came up. Maybe there was SMART goals. Maybe that's the subject. And then I'm thinking, what did I really want to tell them about that SMART goals? I can't really remember. So I don't know. Let's use AI. Let AI generate a note for us based on SMART goals. And it's going to go through and it's going to generate a note for us based on SMART goals that I can then share with my client. Now, obviously, you don't have to use AI here, but boom, there it goes. And I can save this. I'm not going to do a whole tour of this, but there are other features that you can do, and there will be a specific section on each one of these things. But my client now gets gets a note. Tasks and reminders are just for you. So these are just for you as an advisor. They're not shared with your client. They're just a place for you to, remind yourself to do something or follow up on something and so on. Client profile. This is very cool. So, it's really cool to be able to build up a profile of your client. Now, assuming you've got those intake questions and your clients answered all of them, but you're thinking about, hang on, they haven't answered all of them. Well, let's go and have a look at the client intake form. And when we click on it, you'll actually notice now we get little helpers. So here's all my questions. So question 1, what do you hope to achieve by working with an advisor? So if I click on the AI helper, it says, no, you've got to add some keywords in. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a keyword, I have no idea. So I'm just going to use the word I and let it generate. I hope to achieve clarity and guidance. Now, again, you get the choice of whether your client gets this AI helper or not. It's the only AI helper they get. But you notice in settings, you choose if your client gets this AI helper or not. Totally up to you. If you choose that that client gets this, then they will see this. And if you choose that they don't get this, then only you will see this. So you can actually help them fill this in. But they can't see the AI helper, which is kind of neat as well. So what are your biggest challenges or obstacles? I am being very lazy, and I'm not even going to answer any of these questions on my own. I'm going to let AI do everything. Can you tell me a little bit about your background? Yes. Oh, look at that. And again, just be aware it's making this up now because I didn't put any real keywords in there. So I'm just putting in there. If I put something in here, so what are your aspirations for the future? I could put your CEO of a startup. That could be. Then it'll be a little bit, more targeted. So boom, my aspiration for the future would be a CEO of a startup. So it's actually giving me a little bit more here. What are your current career goals and aspirations? Again, we're just doing this because I am showing you how easy it is to do. But obviously you or your clients would be putting keywords in here. Now to add to this, your clients could just put keywords in here and you can then use AI to generate full answers for them as well. You do have that option. So educational background, I'm really cheating here for your benefit. What industries or fields? IT, finance, I don't know. Any specific challenges? Yes. We've got a duplicate question there, which we'll need to take care of. So we will leave that one. Are there any specific job roles or positions you're interested in pursuing? Yes, CEO. Why not? What are your preferences in terms of work environment? Remote only. A remote CEO. Boom. All right. And you can see sometimes it gets a bit verbose, so as a career. So you might want to just edit that a little bit because it didn't quite. Sometimes you'll have that. You can always try again. Excuse me. Okay. Again, it's 99 times out of 100, it's perfect. Have you sought career counseling or coaching? Yes. And obviously you don't have to use this. I should just mention, your client or you could absolutely just fill this out and do this, but I want to show you how AI can actually help you do this. Are there any personal professional values? Yes. And how do you envisage the ideal outcome of career counseling sessions? That's a good. Okay, so let's just say we're good. We now have a full form. So if you go and have a look, we now have our clients filled out this whole form for us, which is fantastic, right? So let's go and create a client profile based on that form. We just click Gen AI. It's going to take that form, it's going to take those answers, it's going to take the fact that I'm a career counselor, and it's going to try and create a profile for the client. Again, consider this a template, but boom, without any work on your half, you should have a full profile for your clients. And I want you to think about all these tools and techniques. So look, it's for advisor, CAIRS, that's me. Here's my current career goals. Okay, this is obviously a lie because I didn't fill that in. Yes, IT and finance, we put that in, absolutely. What am I interested in? I'm interested in becoming a CEO. You notice how all the things that I actually put in there, all that stuff is actually in here? It's done all of that. It's taken all of that and it's tried to build a profile for me. Again, just like everywhere else, you can go and you can edit, you can change, you can redo it. You can also share this with your clients if you want to. Up to you. And if you make any changes, click save. Boom. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's look at a couple of other things. There are lots of other things that you can do here, but there's some cool features that kind of make this unique and kind of interesting as well. So we have a toolkit. The toolkit allows us to do a whole bunch of things. We have SMART goals, cover letter helpers, resume helpers, comfort zone tools, and mock interviews. We're going to have special sessions on those. You can also send reminders to your clients for certain things, a general reminder, an upcoming appointment reminder, a homework reminder. You can also send them a payment reminder if you need to. Hey, you haven't paid. You can also cut them off by unselecting that. And you can actually manage your clients in what we call the client manager. We'll have sessions on all of these. You can see in the client manager, by the way, everything that's going on, how much AI is remaining, how many AI tokens are remaining. Every time you generate AI, you use AI tokens. So you'll see I've got 125 tokens left and pretty much we're done. Just by the way, like there's not that much more AI we're going to do here. We're just going to create one for each session maybe and for notes. So, maybe another 25. I mean, so we should be fine. We should have, probably close to 100 left. We envisage most people will use about 75 tokens out of the roughly 150 we will give you. So you can see all of that stuff, which is cool. But we can do a couple of other things. Our client can book a meeting with us or we can book a meeting with our client. So let's go in and let's book a meeting. So first of all, you'll see that my client's time zone is the same as mine. Or it's me. I'm booking with myself here. Here's my little session booking details. When are we going to book for? Let's book for the 27th. And let's book an appointment for 3 to 4. And let's continue here. And what's happened here is that myself and my client will both be sent an email. In that email will be an integrated video conference that we can both join. It'll have all the details for the conference and so on. I can go and delete this if I need to. You can have a look at it'll be right up on the front page for you. You can also join the conference right from here. You don't have to. If you lose your email while you're on here, you'll also know what session you're on. Everything is integrated. It's all one piece so that when you're sitting with the client and they click on this and they go into the session, they'll know they're doing session 1. They'll know it's at 3 to 4 or whatever it is in their time zone, obviously. When it is, they can click and they will get exactly the same things. Again, let's just go and mock this up and have a look. And this is exactly what I got. Look, there's my client. My client gets a session. Client can click on this. Client can go in. They can join the meeting. Obviously, they join the meeting now. It won't be on, but they can join the meeting. And just to add to that, the clients can actually go in and book a session as well. How do I know this? Well, they can book a session because I let them in settings. You can choose to turn that on or turn that off. So, there's a lot more to show you in this, how calendaring works. We have a fully integrated chat system. We also have chat with AI, so you can chat with your clients. I'm going to do full sessions with that, and you can even use keywords in your AI like career goals. Use some AI. It'll come back with some data for us, and then we can send that message as well. So there's all sorts of stuff that we can do within this application that make it super easy and super integrated to work with your clients. The whole point of this is that it's easy to work with your clients. We can also make messages, community messages. We have a community chat forum that you'll get by default for you and all your clients to collaborate and so on. Just be aware we're on V34, the final preview. So yes, there's still a few little bugs to iron out, which I'm sure you've noticed. But we're about 99% there and we're ironing out all the final bugs. So probably by the time you look at this, it'll be either final preview, a V above 34, and so on. So hopefully that's helpful for you. So that was really a quick walkthrough. That was a quick walkthrough of CAIRS, the CAIRS app. Working as an advisor, inviting clients, getting it set up. I'm going to do another session on actually registering as a client, so you'll see a little bit more. But that was a walkthrough, really briefly, of some of the tools and features and functionality and how easy it is, how quick it is to get started. There's really almost nothing you have to do. You noticed I did very minimal typing there. Everything was set up for me. The templates were set up for me. The video conferencing set up for me. The emails, email functionality was set up for me. And I want to just also add that this is a web app, but it's actually been specifically made into a PWA, which means that it works beautifully on iPads. It works very well on phones. Obviously, you do have limited screen real estate there, but it will actually work on almost any form factor you want. We're using it in a normal web browser here, but you can use it on your phone, on your tablet, or anything like that. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and contact us and let us know if we can help you, and hope you get some value out of the app. Thank you very much for watching.